normally do a 5 minute. That time I did an 8.5 minute. Hey everybody. Still trying to get things set up here. I've had a lot going on tonight. And I'm probably not going to be on too awful long. I got some storms nearby. And I usually lose my internet or my power if there's thunderstorms nearby, so I don't want to be broadcasting. Yeah, Becky, I'll check that out. Hey, South Paul, Rick, Jeff, thank y'all for joining me. Invest 95L has been given, as you see at the bottom on the ticker. It's now potential tropical cyclone 9. Hey, Gump, Becky. And the reason why they did that is they went ahead and give it that designation just so they can issue a storm track and also issue tropical storm warnings in the Bahamas. But let's get to the latest info on this thing. This is the website, National Hurricane Center, that anybody can go to, but I like doing it so I can explain it. So right now, it's a 80% chance in the next 48 hours or 90% over a 5-day period. Now, the models on this thing are all over the place, and as you can see there, it's not moving. It's stationary or nearly stationary. Winds at 30 miles per hour, pressure at 1,008 millibars, so it's still kind of high yet. And it was moving northwest at 8 miles per hour until this 8 o'clock update. And I'll show the track on that. Now, what National Hurricane Center ended up doing on this track, excuse me, is they kind of took a split between the GFS and the Euro, and I'll show you that path for each one of those. And they kind of put the cone down the middle, and the reason why is because the models are not disagreeing at all. Euro's got it going up the east coast of Florida, and it's going to be a slower and stronger storm. Hey, Clark, Jane, and the GFS actually has it going over in the Gulf as a weaker storm. So they put the cone down the middle. It gives them an idea, and you can see. Let me zoom in here. These blue lines, those are tropical storm warnings. They're in the Bahamas, and that's the reason why they give it the designation of PTC 9, or potential tropical cyclone. Not looking too good right now. Let me show you the infrared satellite view, and the potential center here. I got to drag this from monitor 3 down to 1, and the potential center of it well, I'm just not having a right night. Potential center of it is about right there where I've got the low symbol at. They don't know for sure, and they've had 3 different hurricane hunters from the Air Force fly out there today, and they still can't exactly find the center of this. So as you can see, where I said where the potential low is, or the center, all the storms are on the northeast side of it. Like Dorian, most of Dorian was what we call east loaded, where all the thunderstorms were over on the east side. Now, the reason why for that is there's a lot of wind shear right now that's blowing off the west side. The bad news is, let me turn the satellite off here. Is right here is Abaco Island that Dorian hit, and here is the Grand Bahama. So that's what's going to make it kind of bad. You know, if it's headed northwest, all those storms over on the east side are going to go right back over those 2 islands that Dorian hit. And you can see some of these round dots on here. I'll turn the satellite off so it's easier for you to see them. Those different color round dots, those are some of the model runs. And you can see the green one is staying as a depression. It's got the letter D. So it's staying in a depression, and then it's going to go over around New Orleans and kind of meander around. And the red one and the blue and the white, you know, pretty much have the same track. The Euro's now saying it's going to stay off the coast. But the models are all over the place. I tried looking at the models, and it's just crazy. It's not making any sense. But one of the problems with that is the fact that they don't know exactly where that center is. Once they can define exactly where that center is and put that into the models, then the models they'll get a better idea of the tracks on it. But right now, the models are confused. Yeah, I'll zoom out on this and go ahead and put it in motion so you can kind of watch it. Now it's going to flicker until it gets all the tiles loaded up. And you can kind of see how part of it is blowing off to the right side or the east. That's some of that wind shear. Now, what was crazy was last night and this morning, They said there was going to be a high pressure ridge, which is bringing the whole eastern part of the U.S. these super hot temperatures. But that high ridge was going to force this thing over in the Gulf to the west. But now things are changing. And apparently the models are thinking that high pressure ridge is going to weaken. And that's where the Euro sends this thing up the East Coast. Now we can take a look at water vapor. This is always cool. Then while this is loading up, we have another area to watch that's not far off the African coast. And I tell you what, this thing is it's not going to look good because it's not in favorable conditions right now, but it's going to skirt due west and come up to the Leeward Islands like Dorian did before it has a chance to form. And it's only 40% in 5 days, but I'll show you here in a bit. Go ahead and shoot over to that. This is the area right here. Now look where the X is, and in 5 days, look how far it's going to be with a potential formation. Hey, Doc. So that thing's really going to be booking across the Atlantic. Because that's a great distance to travel from here to over in this area within 5 days. So, and, oh, doggone it. It didn't change scenes. Excuse me. It's been one of them days, folks. Now let's go back to this. There you can see where the orange X is and where the 5-day formation cone is. That's a huge distance for it to travel. You know, from here to somewhere in this cone. That's a large distance to travel. So this thing's going to be scooting. And if you can see here, right here, the yellow line, that's the Leeward Islands. So here we go again, folks. Maybe Puerto Rico. One model's actually showing that. It's actually the Euro is got it trying to form and headed right for Puerto Rico. So could we have another track just like Dorian? Good possibility. It's way too far out to tell, but I'd like to show you a model. And I know, you know, a lot of you don't understand these models, but well, first, before I get to that, let me show you some of these. This is the global models. Look at all those tracks. Which way did he go, George? So, all the different models, which there's tons of them. And there's very few that's even come close to agreeing. Okay, let's go to that forecast model. Now, I'll show you the Euro. And I want to change regions so it's kind of zoomed out for you guys. And this is the area to watch. It's right down here. But watch this green circle. That's it trying to form. Right there. Right over Puerto Rico. That's the Euro. But I want to show you something else that's crazy. I'm going to change the region back. Let's go Western Atlantic and rewind the model. Now, first we'll look at PTC 9. And there the model has it on northern Bahamas. And there it's getting stronger. And it kind of slows down right there. But look down here. That's that area to watch with a 40% right now. Now this is Tuesday. But watch what happens with this little feller down here as we're watching PTC 9. It's chasing it. PTC 9's running up the coast, and this little guy is going right behind it. Now I'll rewind it here and I'll play it and watch it in full motion. Here comes the little guy. There he goes. Looked like a kitten chasing a rabbit. So it's real interesting how fast that second one is going to be moving. So, and I'll go ahead and show you the GFS. And GFS right now, it's really hard to see it because it's so weak. You really can't, right there, it's got it going over Florida. You can see the green. That's PTC 9, or potential tropical cyclone. And then it goes over in the Gulf and just kind of meanders. Now every model run, it gets a little bit different. Some of it has it late morning. It had it moving into Texas. Another run had it Louisiana. Now it's over here in Bama. And then it's just going to fall apart and kind of meander. No, that's not really the size of it that's making it move fast. It's going to be the trade winds and the location of the steering mechanism, like your high pressure systems or low pressures. There is going to be a ridge out there in the Atlantic to the north side of it. Now remember, highs, which is where your ridge is, that's a high pressure, it rotates clockwise. So it's going to start shoving it real fast to the west. That's only one of the steering mechanisms. Now, when I look at this one here is nuts, this model. Now, for hurricanes or tropical storms, this one, I'm starting to use it a lot. It's the HWRF, and it's specifically designed for tropical storms. Now, this one, the low pressure stays in the middle of the window. But you can see how it's got it meandering around right there at the Bahamas. Right where Dorian stalled. And then it's got it landfall, going back out, making landfall. So all the models right now is nuts, folks. I mean, there's no way to actually know. It's just a guess. And a lot of that's to do with not knowing exactly where the center is. Once they get that and get that in the models, hopefully by tomorrow, then we'll get a better idea of how the models were going to make this thing work. Yeah, only time will tell. And this is going to be another stubborn one, I do believe, like Dorian was. But Dorian, it formed over in the Virgin Islands. So it had a lot longer, to travel over warm waters. Now let me check sea surface temperatures here. Now these deep reds, those are really warm waters. It's not a tropical depression. PTC stands for potential tropical cyclone. So it's something new that they just started this year. And the reason why they're doing this, it's not at tropical depression status yet, but they needed a way to put out warnings. So they came out with uh, this way of doing this before it gets to that point, just so they can put out the warnings and the watches. Now that they have come out with this PTC on this one, now they will, since there's watches and warnings being posted, I'll start getting 3-hour updates again. But this new designation that it gave a way to give earlier warnings out instead of waiting till it went to tropical depression. And in this case, this is really cool that they're doing this. If they waited until it made tropical depression status and then put out the warnings, it might be too late. So this is a way that the Bahamas is able to put out their tropical storm warnings, and before it gets to that point. Right now, it just looks like it's going to be mainly rain showers. Now, if this thing does track over Florida, like the cone shows, it's not expected to get over 50 mile per hour winds. So that's not even Cat 1. So it's just going to be a weak depression and cause more rain than anything, which the Grand Bahama and the Abaco Islands don't need. Now here is sea surface temperatures, and I want to run to the end of the model. Now these red colors, those are really warm waters, real warm waters. But because of Dorian, look up to the north where you see yellows and greens, that's a lot cooler water. And the reason for that is when Dorian took its good old easy time, it sucked up all the warm water. And so all the deep water, which is colder, came to the surface. So it's really cooled down where Dorian traveled. And it's taking a long time to recover those water temperatures. But that's a good thing with this storm, since it's forming so close to the United States, to Florida, then it's not going to have them super warm waters, or as I called it, bathtub waters, to really get a lot of fuel. So it should stay weaker, except for its speed. It's going to be moving, the Euro has it moving really slow. And it'll have more time to suck up the 80-degree water, where Dorian had 90-degree water. And it does make a big difference. 10 degrees makes a difference. But as it gets up to the north and starts running in those colder waters, it's going to weaken pretty quick. Again, I'll show you the cone. Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. And this cone is kind of nuts. Now, let me go back. It'll be easier for you to see here. But like I was saying at the beginning, the Euro has it more or less coming this way. Well, around like that. And the GFS has it coming more this way. So with the models having such a big spread, and they needed, with this PTC designation, they needed to give it a cone. So they split the difference. They sent it right down the middle of those two models. But the next step up, folks, for PTC will be tropical depression. So that's about all I could tell you about this storm and the other one. Now, I won't have an actual cone on the second one that's coming across the Atlantic until it gets a designation. Then I'll have a cone for it. Now, potential rainfall as of right now, that yellow area, that's 4 to 6 inches. And you can see down here close to Abaco, got some oranges there. That's a 6 to 10 inch potential. This is rainfall potential. So you can see the areas that's really going to get a lot of rain out of this thing. And that's going to be the main danger at this point, is going to be the amount of rainfall, which them poor people in the Bahamas, the northern Bahamas, they're still trying to pick up what's left of the pieces of what's left of their lives, and they don't need another storm this quick. Now, we're right in the peak of hurricane season, and I think we've got about 60% of the hurricane season to go. So we can't turn our backs on any of these things. And let me stop the motion on this. It's nothing to look at right now, but basically this area here is the area to watch. That's got a 40% chance of forming something in the next 5 days. But then we got another wave, coming off the coast. Now, these waves, this time of year, these waves come off Africa about every 3 to 5 days. So we still got plenty of potential. I mean, look at all the different waves out here. I mean, here's a new one. We got one here. We got this one. We got this one. And we got this one. Those are all tropical waves. And any of those can, even though they don't look like nothing right now, because the area they're in is not favorable for formation, but they carry the ingredients of what they need once they do get in favorable areas, like over here. Once it gets over here around, here's the Leeward Islands. That's Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, right there, and this is Haiti. So once it gets over in here, then it's got a lot favorable conditions. But one thing that I was seeing in the discussions early, as far as this area to watch coming across, it's a very good chance when it gets over here at Puerto Rico, it could turn around and shoot for the Gulf because of a high pressure ridge. But if that ridge weakens, then once it gets to Puerto Rico, it'll be like what the Euro said. It's going to go right up and follow this PTC 9. Any questions? Got to keep a close eye on this stuff. It's amazing, though. I love it. I can't hardly do anything else. First thing I do when I wake up is I start looking at stuff. Now, I did have an opportunity. Am I getting some sleep? What is that word? I don't know. I forgot what it was. It's been so long. I've been getting some. I had a 15-minute nap earlier. If that counts. Oh, thanks, Clark. I appreciate that. But, oh, that don't count? Doggone it. Power naps are great if I can get longer than 15, 20 minutes. But I did get, well, let's see. I was up all night. I got to sleep at daylight uh, and woke up a couple hours later. So I got 2 hours sleep this morning. So if this thing really decides to start doing something tomorrow, I might do an afternoon broadcast. If not, I'm going to try to do the 8:15. Yeah, I'm a night owl. My body makes me a night owl. Pain keeps me awake. But I have a chance to go someplace that I haven't been in a lot of years. My son's going to be taking off tomorrow, and he's going to be taking his semi down to Laredo, Texas. And I thought seriously about going. Yeah, but that's a pretty long trip for me. I don't know if I can handle it for sure, but my short trip to almost Indianapolis to Detroit to Columbus and back home the other day wasn't that bad. I felt pretty good. Well, the more I think about it, I think on this time, I think I'm going to stay home because it looks like once he gets to Laredo, he's going to California. So I would be gone for 2 weeks. And with this tropical storm, this PTC, I think I better stick around. I would not be able to do a real good broadcast with just a laptop. So I'm not going to make this road trip, but sometime in the future, because it kind of sounds like he's going to be doing these. Hey, Dolph, welcome. It sounds like he's going to be on these runs, so I'll get another opportunity for me to jump in the truck with him. That was really cool the other day, just going up to Detroit. Not yet, Jane. We're getting close to the second season. Although after the last couple of days, it kind of seems like it. About the last 3 days. It was the day before yesterday, Sioux Falls got hit with a tornado. I know there was Iowa was getting hit tonight. There was actually, I seen that there was one reported on the ground, Tor R. There was west of Chicago today was Tor Warren. Michigan got walloped last night. Yeah, it figures. The day after me and my son was up there, we come back in bright, hot sunshine, and that's all we've had so far today. And oh, Brandon did? Cool. And then I seen on the radar last night that Michigan was getting nailed. It's like, doggone it, why did it wait till we left? It seems like no matter where my son drives, he's either way ahead of the storm or way behind it. We can actually use a little bit of rain here, but we're under a high pressure dome, and I can show you that. It's a little hard to see with infrared. But see all this black area? No clouds. Yeah, my son is a chaser. He's third generation truck driver, second generation storm chaser. But all this black area right here, there's a high pressure ridge. And so we have been having scorching hot temperatures. And I think tomorrow our heat index is supposed to be a lot, 104 or something like that. Yeah, storm chasing is really cool. It's not for everybody. There's a lot of people out there doing it. I wish they wasn't. But as long as you got the proper training, it's really cool. Kept nosing the truck into the docks. You're supposed to back into the docks, not nosing them into. Yeah, like Sean just said, trucking's not for everybody. 97 felt like 104. Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah, this high pressure ridge has got to go. But it kind of sounds like it's going to be here for me for a few more days. Now I do have some storms north of me, so I'm kind of keeping an eye on them. They're not looking quite as good, but there's some others starting to build up. Anderson, Indiana. Yeah, you all get a lot of rain over there in England. Oh wow, Jane. 15-degree difference. I know tomorrow there's a huge area that could be breaking records as far as high temp. I think tomorrow, let's look at the Storm Prediction Center and see what we got for tomorrow. Yeah, we're only in a marginal. You can see it here, the darker green. That's a marginal. We might get something, but here in Ohio, marginals, you're lucky to get a shower. Ohio weather is horrible for storm chasing. I mean, there is some good days, and that should be coming up this fall. When the weather pattern starts changing before winter, usually the Ohio tornado season comes in the fall. Yeah, hopefully, me and Sean will get a chance to get out and have some fun. Yeah, it looks like day 3. You got a marginal Iowa, Minnesota, a little bit of Wisconsin. That's for day after tomorrow, day 3. It was a really shame last night for those of you who's watching that things didn't work out for Nathan. I mean, that one storm he was going after was the right storm out of the ones near him. But once it started getting dark, man, it just fell apart. Had some beautiful lightning last night, though. Well, me and my son was talking, and like I was saying last night, if you guys were watching, um, I might be trying to start a weather consulting company uh, to help truck drivers plan their routes, give them a better chance of knowing what the weather's going to be on their way somewhere. Yeah, I'm sitting here doing it anyway, and I know how to talk to a trucker since I was one, and my daddy was one, and now my son R one. I can't even talk right tonight. What's that, Beck? No, Brandon's. Aussie in Iowa. Oh, yeah. That's on the ground. I'm not sure. That's one of our guys, I think. Yeah, that's definitely on the ground. Had multi-vortex going there at the beginning of it. Still got some going in it over here on the left side. And over on the right, there goes the multi-vortex. Okay, Doc. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And that's not like the monsters, that everybody wants to see, like the movie Twister. Yeah, just as deadly. I mean, that thing's wicked. Those multiple vortices, little tornadoes spinning around the major one, those are usually more destructive because they're spinning even faster, plus spinning around the main. And it's not uncommon to have 250, 300 mile per hour winds in those multiple vortices. Oh man, that thing's stout. Yeah, I got a little rope off to the left. That's awesome. I bet that video sold. And after the corn's in the way, we hate corn this time of year. If that corn wasn't so daggone tall. Got to get the SVL Media logo on there. That's pretty cool, Becky. Thanks. Oh, Corey was with him? Cool. Sold right away. Great. Oh, you're welcome, Jane. I seen Kransky was out today, too. Matter of fact, it looked like he just went streaming again. And I didn't get to catch Mike's except for he was on the north side of that tour warren there in Illinois, and so he was where all the rain was. But I couldn't help him. I was actually in the semi at the time when he said he was going out. Me and Sean had some business to take care of, and yeah, I just got a notification that he's Kransky's streaming. But we actually used my son's truck as a grocery getter the other day. Oh my God, driving home in the rain of a night, I hate that. Oh, okay, Beck. He's on his way home. So yeah, there was some pretty cool stuff today, but I didn't really get to watch any of it. I gotta wait for the commercial. Forget that. Oh yeah, man, you ought to see them people at Walmart. Us pulling in the Rigger parking lot. He didn't have his trailer. It was just We bobtailed down there, and pulled in the regular car parking lot, and then here we come out with a cart full of groceries and stuff, and people sitting there staring at us. And we loading up, and the side of his sleeper's got a door on it, and we shoved all the groceries in there, climbed in the truck and left. Never know what you're going to see at Walmart. Well, at least it's not pouring the rain for Bill. No, I haven't. I watched some of the Twitch streams. It's pretty cool. Yeah, the American Truck Sim. Actually, excuse me. I've been following a couple that are streaming Farm Simulator, which I don't have 19 yet. That's the latest one. But for almost 20 years of my life, I worked on my uncle's farm. And so I've been playing that. That's funny, Doc. But yeah, we were gone in the truck again today. Went and got it all fueled up, so he's all ready for tomorrow. And we went back to Walmart today. Had to pick up a few things, and just getting out of the house while I got a chance. I'm gonna ride in that truck anytime I can. What do I think is going to happen in the Bahamas? Boy, I tell you what. Right now, it's going to be a lot of rain. Right now, the way the models are showing, it looks like the strongest it could even get at this point. It's still early. It's only about 50 mile per hour winds. So, I mean, that can be destructive, but mainly since this thing is all loaded over on the northeast side of it, where the thunderstorms are, it's going to go right over the Bahamas and just dump a ton of rain. So that's the main threat right now. Yeah, I know, Southpaw. I've been afraid to go look at it to see if I'm in it. I don't much care for grocery shopping at Walmart, but it's only 6 miles away. So yeah, it could be a thrill. That's great, WX. That's my son, by the way. But you try core punching in your truck, you're going to end up flipped over. Let's see what Doc says. Hi, Barry's son. His name's Sean. He's my oldest. He's my only son, but he's my oldest kid. So, folks, I feel my throat starting to go. So, see what Becky just said? Yeah, I'm going to get some rest, folks, and I don't know if I'm going to get any of these rain showers tonight, but I'm going to go ahead and rest my throat up. I'm still not over that. I bruised my vocal cords, and boy, I just can't seem to get over it. I guess because I talk too much. No, I haven't tried that Southpaw. Yeah, I try to teach something new every time. I've got some other cool stuff to show you when we get our TV channel started. Uh, I'm going to have some tips and trick shows to show you all. So, folks, 9:15 my time, and I'm going to go ahead and call it. Like I say, 30 mile per hour wind, pressure 1,008 millibars. I forgot to change the ticker. It says northwest at 8, but it's actually stationary. I forgot to change that. All right, folks. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you like what I do and you'd like for me to keep coming to you, if you can donate with either bits, subs, which, by the way, Twitch Prime subs are half price this month, or direct donation, I greatly appreciate it. Really helps me, keeps me going, helps pay the bills. So anyway, that's my plug for the night. Thanks for joining me. And I did see I had a new follower earlier. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good night. Catch you on the next broadcast.